question that I receive. DZ, why are you so obsessed with typology? Well, I guess I'm finally going to answer that question. I'd say that it can be brought down into 3 or 4 points. And all of these points pretty much interweave into each other. So the first point basically is, I value relationships operating at their highest frequency. Ironically, in the typology system that I study the most, which is the Myers-Briggs personality, or Myers-Briggs type instrument, or type indicator, the Myers-Briggs, the MBTI, I'm an ENFJ. And when you look at the functions and not the dichotomies, so not the E versus I, N versus S stuff, but when you look at the actual functions, then my dominant function is extroverted feeling, FE, which is incredibly concerned with getting people's needs met, creating overall harmony. It's very concerned with and zoomed into social dynamics, creating social structures and, like unspoken social norms and things like that, so that everybody can get their needs met. So having like a system for relationships in a way, and how we should be treating each other. That's what my finger is on the pulse of, as an ENFJ, especially like with NI, as my auxiliary function, which is all about, the abstract and symbolism and, getting into pretty much energies and things like that. And all of these things I get deeper into in my other videos. But essentially what I'm saying is, it's ironic that me as an ENFJ, at least the reason why I seem to value this framework so much is because it provides me more than almost any other tool, that ability to show us how to operate at our highest frequencies in our relationships. And I don't just mean like romantic relationships, but I mean platonic relationships as well. Relationships that have nothing to do with, oh, I'm romantically interested in you and everything. It's easy for the most part, for many people, to be kind to the woman or the man that you love, the woman or the man that you are in a relationship with, stuff like that, even to your children. But what about people that you don't really know? What about the people, even at work, who get on your nerves? They rub you wrong. All of this is what I'm naturally attuned to, and I've always been looking for ways on how we could better treat people. My whole YouTube channel is me pretty much giving advice on how we could better treat people, as I continuously look for even more ways naturally on how to do that, because that's just how I naturally think about those types of things. And then I try and find ways to be able to communicate these thoughts, because ultimately this goes into my second point, which is, this is best possible when we have become our best selves. So the first point was, I value relationships operating at their highest frequency. Second point is, this is best possible when we have become our best selves. I acknowledge that the MBTI system was not necessarily created by Myers and Briggs to, help us with personal development. I acknowledge that wasn't the main goal of the MBTI system. However, I cannot fathom learning about this stuff and not using it. To me, there's a difference between the Hogwarts houses where they have Slytherin and Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, all of that, and just that's cool, this is what I am. And and even a lot of Myers-Briggs sites, they have it kind of set up like that. There's a difference between that, like looking at, oh, that's just how I am, well, that was cool, reading about it, and oh, look at all of these flaws that I can now pinpoint and work on. When you learn about your own type and then you learn about other people's type, it's helping you become your best self. It's helping you know that, hey, we've seen a pattern with you, whatever type, insert types here, and this is some of the behavior that we've seen from your type that, can often go wrong for whatever reason. And once you become aware of that, there's a difference between self-awareness and personal development. So once you become aware of such things, then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now you have the decision to, okay, I'm going to actually work on changing this, or, I'm aware of it, but that's just who I am. That's just how God created me. It's like, no. Why would you not want to be your best self? Why would you not want to operate at your highest frequency? Why would you want to settle if you have the superpower of controlling metal and manipulating metal? Why would you want to stick with the ability to only pick up things such as a microwave, an iPad, or maybe like a laptop, when you can learn how to pick up a whole football stadium? Why would you not want to be at your best self? That just doesn't make sense to me. Now, there are people who aren't interested in that, and that's fine, but I'm just saying that's just how I am. I'm somebody who I'm constantly scanning myself. So as much as I, try and coach other people, and it seems like I tell you guys what to do off of my videos and stuff, trust me, I'm 2 to 3 times more vigorous on myself than I am on any of you. Whatever finger that I may be pointing at you, I'm realizing that there's 4 more pointing right back at me, if you count the thumb as a finger. But anyway, so then this brings me to my third point. We can become our best selves when we better understand ourselves and one another. When I'm learning about typology, I'm learning how all of the different people in my life are naturally wired, how they naturally perceive the world and make decisions. And then I'm better understanding, okay, this is how I should respond to that. If this is what's natural for them, I shouldn't try and dissuade them from that, their nature. Instead, I should try and help them become a better version of themselves. And so in doing that, I'm able to appreciate who they are for who they are, while hopefully they're able to appreciate me for who I am. And once again, that doesn't mean that we just stew in our stupidity. We don't just like sit there in our spoil and thinking that, oh, well, this is just a problem of mine, deal with it, I have an attitude. We can always be working on getting better. And I think that, kind of like what they say about relationships, a relationship is not 50-50, but it's 100-100. If somebody who's completely healthy, completely happy, and, just completely fulfilled comes into a relationship with somebody else who's completely happy and all of that, well, now we get something from that as well. Now you have 2 happy people in a relationship, and that makes a happy relationship. Not 2 people who are broken and messed up and they're relying on each other to fix them, and not even 2 people where one person is really good and developed and healthy while the other person is messed up and broken and all of that. It doesn't work like that either. So when we expand this from just one-on-one relationships to how we relate to everybody else, now we have things where even if we're interacting with strangers, it's pretty much my utopia. We're just all kind to each other. We're just all respectful of one another. We all appreciate what each other brings to the table. We respect each other's authenticity, and we allow each other to be in our own skin, but we don't allow us being in our own skin to disrupt other people in their own skin as well. And that ultimately brings harmony, which is my biggest concern, or my biggest focus, my biggest drive, if you will. So far, the question is, why are you so obsessed with typology? My 3 points that I've said are because I value relationships operating at their highest frequency, and this is best possible when we become our best selves. And then we can become our best selves when we better understand ourselves and one another. which these typology systems help us better understand ourselves and better understand each other. If we learn and focus on how to better like how each other like operates, then now we have a better chance at harmony. So the last point that I had is because God is central. And the reason why I say that is because first and foremost, before anything, before I'm an ENFJ, before I'm black, before I'm whatever, I'm a Christian. And I'm unashamed of that now, depending on what you believe is Christian. If you mean like a Bible bashing, out there just attacking everyone, shoving your religion, shoving their faith and religion down your throat, no, that's not really me. But if you mean someone who believes that Jesus Christ lived, and he lived a sinless life, and then he died and then he rose on the third day for our sins, and if you receive him into your life, then even if you're imperfect, there's a spot for you in heaven, and you live the rest of your life, in relationship with him, learning to become more like how he was. Yeah, that's essentially like what I am. So in being a Christian, I have God at the center of everything that I do. So because God is the center of all of what I do, then even in my personal development, even in my helping other people to become the best version of themselves, I see that as ministry. I see that as ultimately becoming the person that God wanted us to be all along. And that's my main drive. That's my main focus. So I know that, not everybody, if anybody, uses typology in a Christian way, but I do. I see it as a way to help us all become who God ultimately wants us to be, tapping into our potential. And if we're all our best selves, then we will just be better in life. We'll have way less immature people. We'll have way less not unself-aware people. Self-unaware people in the world. And we'll all just be, and I know this is like a stretch, this is very idealistic of me, but just take the time to picture that. If we all took the time to learn about ourselves, not just ourselves, but after we've learned about ourselves or enough about ourselves, and we took the time to learn about other people as well, then just imagine how much greater life would be, how much more rich it would be, how much differently we would respond to certain things. Certain people would stop shooting each other over small things and instead be like, hey, I get why we are disagreeing with this right now. You're using TE, and I feel like the way that you're speaking, you may not know it, but it's very condescending, or at least it's coming off that way. But I understand that that's not your intention. So I'm going to choose not to be insulted by that, but could you please, try and speak with a different tone? Oh, I didn't even know. Now, if the TE person is healthy, then they'll see that, it's effective, it's efficient to now watch their tone when they're speaking. Oh, I see what the problem is here. You're an FE user, so you seem to kind of like go around the truth and everything, and I see that you're just trying to value tact, and I get that, but I think the best thing for me at least is I'm a TI user, so I have TI higher in my stack, so I just want you to brutally just give it to me. I can handle it. You don't have to worry about me having this fit or going off on you or something. I can handle that truth. And then the FE user is like, oh, okay, well, now that you've given me that permission, I will be direct with you. And stuff like that. But if we don't know these things about each other, then how are we supposed to better operate in society? So imagine if we all knew enough about each other, and this opens up a lot of conversations as well. If this could help so much already within interpersonal dynamics, imagine how it could work in a grand scheme of society. So that is why I'm so into typology systems, because my utopia is us all having a very, very heavy understanding of ourselves and a very heavy understanding of each other. Understanding that all types, no matter what personality type you are, no matter how rare you are, or whatever, you are valuable. You are equally valuable to any other type. And that if we operate at our highest frequency, then we can get the best out of life. We can get the best out of each other, and we get the best out of ourselves. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. If you have any more questions, I think I pretty much summed that up easily. And yeah, done.